हरे ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Hare Krishna. So yesterday we were discussing how Lord is very reciprocal. That's the formula he has set for this metal world. Ye yatamam prapadyante. How you approach him, accordingly he reciprocates. And here all the different personalities, they are approaching the Lord with a different understanding and they are offering prayers accordingly. Of course, one more thing is that they have to offer the prayers according to the context also. Like presently there is some situation is going on. You have to offer the prayers accordingly and according to their realization and mood also. Everything counts in their prayers. And here we see everybody is offering prayers in that particular way and getting benefit out of it. And here Lokapalas, we have seen how different personalities offered their prayers. And the point here is they all have access for the Supreme Lord. So this is such a important thing to know that these people have access. That means we also have access to the Supreme Lord in the form of deities. We also Lord is also reciprocal. So we can also offer prayers every day and get a benefit out of it. Here in Kali Yuga, we don't deserve to see the Lord directly because that's actually what the pastime in Lord Balaji that happens. And Lord Balaji fights on behalf of his devotee. And then after that, everything settles. Then the devotee tells, my dear Lord, now Kali Yuga is coming. People cannot relate. Better you stand here, don't move. Dwapar Yuga, this is actually a very important point. In Dwapar Yuga, people were able to relate very easily and they could see that this is not different from the Lord. And that is why they are able to, their purity was so much, they can see the deity is not different. And that's why we hear so many pastimes where Lord is speaking, Lord is reciprocating. Many of them happened, they happens in Dwapar Yuga directly. Because their Lord talks to the devotees. Sometimes he talks in Kali Yuga also, but very rarely. So this is based on their purity. And in heavenly planets, the consciousness is very high. They have high level of purities. That's why they get direct access of the Lord. If we directly get access of the Lord in Kali Yuga, people will only misuse. And there is no way that they will come out of that situation. We commit offenses and we will misuse. That's why we are not given so much access. Like say, if a spiritual master is staying in our house every day, after few months, maybe few days or few months, we start taking spiritual master for granted, and we may commit offenses also. Why? Because our mind is not very pure. Our mind is it is Kali Yuga mind. That is the problem. We cannot have access to it. Similarly, if Lord is there, he comes as deity. You don't talk, you don't respond. Otherwise, we start committing offenses. It is not so easy. The food we are eating, the environment which we are in, it is not our fault. I can say that the food we have, the sensitivity is not there so much. In Dwapar Yuga, Lord is staying with Pandavas. He is staying for months and months in the house of Pandavas. They will never commit any problem with him. They don't have any problem. If Guru only stays in our house for a few months, we'll start feeling difficult because every day you have to pay full attention. Guru means you cannot just, after few days, we'll only say, my dear Guru Maharaj, better you stay in somebody else's house. Everybody should get opportunity to serve you, not only me. This is, some may not agree with me that no, if my Guru comes whole life, I'll serve. Yeah, that is possible for some people whose mind is completely controlled, but for some people, because the whole environment is like that, it is very difficult to appreciate all these things. So, Lord coming and reciprocating and all cannot be appreciated, and so many offenses will be committed. So, Lord says, better I don't speak, and I'll just once in a while, if some, for some devotees, he's coming and he's speaking that happens here. So here they have a great access for the Lord. They are able to directly see Him. And another interesting thing is, even if we see the Lord, there is no guarantee that we will become pure devotees. This is also one more point. All these people are seeing the Lord face to face. They are not developing love for Him. They are relating to Him at the level of their consciousness. Everybody is relating to the Lord based on their consciousness, even though it is very high level, but that much only they can relate. Only a pure devotee can relate with the Lord with love. Nobody can relate. And that person who is relating Lord with love, Lord is reciprocal. He also gives that love, and the devotee experiences great bliss. These people, they cannot experience so much. They'll experience something, some material level of, some spiritual level of happiness, but the prema is not experienced. So this is, they may end up in Vaikunta also, but they'll not have prema. This is the unfortunate situation for the heavenly planets. And only even some of the Brahmas, they are coming from the navel of Lord, or different forms they will come, but they may not be pure devotees. Our Brahma is exception. That means seeing the Lord does not give any chance that, okay, show me the Lord. Even if you show the Lord, people will not become devotees. Duryodhana also saw the Lord, Kamsa also saw the Lord, but they remain demoniac. Seeing the Lord is not as important as becoming a devotee of the Lord. Actually, this is a very interesting point that happens is Parikshit Maharaj was feeling very sad that I was not born in the family of Vrishnis, where I will become a relative of Krishna. And Sukadeva Goswami hears and he gives a shloka. He says, Are, you are very fortunate because you are born in the you are born in a family where bhakti is born. If you are born in Vrishni dynasty, then you will not get so much. What you are getting here in the family, that is very special you are getting. And then he says that Lord Krishna is becoming everything for Pandavas. I know he is becoming a messenger, he is a chariot driver, his servant, he is advisor, he is doing everything for Pandavas because there is bhakti. So to be with the devotee is more important than to directly with the Lord only. Like very interesting, Devaki and Vasudev, they were they were doing performance in the previous life as Vrishni and Sutapa. Then what happened? Lord appears. They say, "My dear Lord, we want a son like you." Then Lord only appeared, and the devotion was increasing, and the form of Lord was also becoming much greater. So in Krishna Garbha, then there is Vamana, then there is Krishna. Where devotion increase, the Lord's reciprocation, the Lord form also change. Now, when it comes to Dhara and Drona, they performed austerity for Brahma. They didn't do for Lord. And then Brahma appears, they say, we want devotion for Lord Krishna. And then Brahma said yes, and Lord went to their house as their son and performed. They became Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, and Lord directly went to their house and started performing bhakti. This is a very interesting thing. Whereas Devaki and Vasudeva, Lord is their son, but they worship Lord only. But here they didn't worship the Lord, they worshipped Brahma, and they got Krishna's all the childhood pastimes. Devaki and sorry, Yashoda and Nanda Baba. The point here is for us, devotee are more important. We need blessings of devotee. Why? Because Lord says, Muktin dadati karhi. He says, I will give mukti very fast, but bhakti I don't give. Because if I give bhakti, I'll be controlled by bhaktas. And that's actually what happened. What is Sukadeva Goswami telling to Parikshit? Are, Lord will give everything, but he will not give bhakti because he will be controlled. So he's controlled by Pandavas, he's controlled by Yashoda Mai. All these things is because it is very important to that's why it is very important to be very nicely understanding the great position of devotees, and we should always try to be with them and serve them and try to take their blessings, and we will reach ultimate perfection very soon in that way only. There is no other way other than this. So here we see that uh, these personalities, they are seeing the Lord, but unless they get association, even association also, they should appreciate that association. They are actually pure devotees. But not everybody takes association. Like Prabhupada was there, and now also many pure devotees are there. People don't take association. We have all the big Sanatanis in our country. How many are interested in associating with pure devotees? They will fight for Dharma, they will fight for Bhagavad Gita, they will fight for no restoring of temples, they'll construct also huge temples and Ram temple in Ayodhya. But how many are interested in knowing properly Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam? Uh, where actually hardly, actually none only. Forcefully we are, we can, if it is counted like that, it's almost none. Very, very few. So the point here is we need to understand this importance. So Bhagavatam, every pastime, it has a very valuable things. Lord appearing, Lord seeing, people have this question. So, oh, if we see the Lord, maybe we'll also change. Nobody changes. We see the Lord in the temple directly, but how many people are changing? It's not possible. Yeah. So here uh, where are we? Yeah, and to be with the devotees is such a blessings, and we all have these blessings. Fortunately, Prabhupada mercy, we are able to understand such a higher and finer truths every day hearing from acharyas and properly. Yeah. So now see what how mystics are seeing the Lord and how they are relating to the Lord. They say, "Dear Lord, persons who see you as non-different from themselves, knowing that you are the super soul of all living, it is certainly very, very dear to you. You are very favorably toward those who engage in devotional service, accepting you as the Lord and themselves as a servant. But your mercy, you are always inclined in their favor." So these are actually one level of pure devotees only. Their understanding is very clear. Means in yoga, yogis also, bhakti yogis, they means they are having this yoga tendencies, but they are practicing good understanding. And Prabhupada says in this verse that the monist and the great mystics known the Supreme Lord as one. This oneness is not misunderstanding that the living entity is equal to everyone, equal in every respect to Supreme. This monism based on pure knowledge as described and confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Priyo hi jnanino tyartam aham cha sama me priyaha. So here Lord says that those who are advanced in transcendental knowledge and know that signs of Krishna consciousness are very dear to him and also very dear to them. So here these people are very dear to Lord, the mystics who are speaking this understanding, very, very clear understanding. So those who are actually in perfect knowledge of science of God know that living entities are superior energy of Supreme Lord. This is stated in Bhagavad Gita. The material energy is inferior and the living entities are superior energy. Energy and energetic are non-different. Therefore, energies possess the same quality as the energetic. And this is what very clearly we understand. And we say non-difference. Energy, there is very deep connection in that way. And if we see that connection, then we will not disrespect any living entity because we know they are all connected to Lord. If I offend them, I am offending the Lord only. And Prabhupada says the particular significance of this verse is the Lord is addressed as Vatsal. Vatsal means always favorably disposed. Lord's name is Bhakta Vatsal. The Lord is famous as Bhakta Vatsala, which means that he is always inclined to the devotees, whereas he never addresses anyone in the Vedic literature as Jnana also is Bhakta Vatsala. And they also continues, we offer our respectful obeisances unto Supreme, who has created varieties of manifestations and put them under the spell of three qualities of material world in order to create, maintain, and annihilate them. He himself is not under the control of external energy in his personal features. He is completely devoid of variegated manifestation of material qualities and is under no illusion of false identification. And yesterday we discussed this also that the false identification cover is what we feel we are having out of fear. I may lose my identity, but our identity is more clear. Like we see the devotees, no devotee's life is very fair. It's so complicated, not fair only. It's not straight. It's complicated. Pandava's life, they're in the forest and born in the forest, came to kingdom again, kingdom again, forest again, kingdom again, forest. So complicated. And if we see all the apostles of Jesus, none of them died on the bed. Everybody was like tortured or crucified or something or other. That means it was not a very simple life for them. Why is it that devotee's life is not simple? It does not actually affect them much because they don't live with the material designations. They live at a spiritual understanding. I am servant of the Lord. That's why, in spite of, then what happens? A person goes through difficulties, he will become more and more blissful. And Kunti Maharaj said, oh, actually, Vipada Santas problems are creating me more bliss. Same thing, Vishnu also. Life is very complicated, but because they don't have this false identity, they always identify servant of Krishna. That's why they become blissful. This is a very important understanding. So we are covering ourselves with this. So when they are going through certain problems and all, they always know. And for us also, Lord gives some problems so that we can come out of our false identification. That is the Lord's arrangement for us also, so that we give up that false identification. I am so and so intelligent, smart. And Lord says, you see how smart you are. You cannot figure out the problem yourself. And Arjuna also thought, I am very smart, intelligent. He could not figure out what is the solution, why I am in such a situation. And then Lord has to come and tell, see, this is what you are. And that's why you need knowledge. So Lord gives us to come out of this false identification. And for the people in the spiritual world, no illusion, no false identification. Prabhupada says two situations are described in this verse. One is the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of the material world, and other is the Lord's own establishment. There is also quality in Lord's own establishment. There is also quality in Lord's own establishment. The kingdom of God is stated here that Goloka is his personal situation. There is also quality in Goloka, but that quality is not divided into creation, maintenance, and nation. In the external energy, the interaction of three qualities make it possible for things to be created, maintained, and inherited. But in the spiritual world or the kingdom of God, there is no such exhibition. Since everything is eternal, sentient, and blissful, there is a class of philosophers who misunderstand the appearance of supreme personality of God within this material world. So they think that if Lord comes, he will also get affected by uh, the modes. But Lord says, no, I appear with my internal potency and everything is in my control. And this is actually what Lord says. And there are qualitative demigods, Brahma, Shiva, and Lord is superior and transcendent to all these things. And then now here, the personified Vedas they speak. We offer our respectful obeisance unto you, the Lord, the shelter of quality of goodness, and therefore the source of all religion, austerity, and penance. For you are transcendental to all material qualities. No one knows you or your actual situation. Now, here, what the purpose of Vedas is what they are speaking, and then they are connecting to that only. So, the purpose of Vedas is to elevate the consciousness of living entity, help him to be happy in whatever state he is, and also elevating him. And that is actually the purpose, and ultimately bring him to mode of goodness. And Lord is the shelter of quality of goodness, and therefore the source of all religion. So Vedas they teach about dharma, and they help a living entity to get elevated in the consciousness. And they are also the source of dharma, austerity, and penance. and then they are actually praising the Lord in the same way. And also, He is beyond the Vedas. Through Vedas, we cannot know because Vedas themselves are telling you are transcendental to all matter and no one knows you, your actual situation. Vedas are telling no one knows you. By reading Vedas, how will we know? We cannot know. Only bhaktyava vijanati. Only by devotion we can understand. The Prabhupada, will see what Prabhupada has to say in his. In the matter world, there is trinity of the three material qualities. Lord Vishnu, goodness, which is the source of religion, knowledge, and austerity, renunciation, opulence, etc. So by goodness only we can get so much. So Vedas, they are trying to make us happy in this mortal world by bringing us to mode of goodness. That is the purpose. Any time if you see any happiness, na, you have to have mode of goodness to experience that happiness. Like very rich people, they want to have a house in a farmhouse or in a ocean beach. Why they want to have houses on a ocean beach or in a some farm community or somewhere in the what do you say hill stations? Why they want? They have so much money. They are in the city. Why they want to go there? Because there is goodness. Even if we want to enjoy, we need goodness. After some time, people understand. Array, even though I have parties every day, drink and dance, but still they prefer that it won't work so much. We need to be in peaceful. So this is happiness. Because of this actual peace, prosperity, knowledge, and religion can be attained when the living entity are under the control of quality of goodness in the material world. As soon as they are subjected to control of the other two qualities, namely passion, ignorance, their precarious condition life becomes intolerable. Very, very. Actually, Prabhupada had complete faith in what Bhagavatam is telling. That's when Prabhupada went, he saw the skyscraper buildings, cars, and beautiful people, so wealthy, fabulously rich, and all. Prabhupada was not impressed only because Bhagavatam very clearly tells that Tata Rajas Tamo Bhava Kama Lobhadesye Chetayete Ranavittam Sitam Sattve Prasidati. Our happiness cannot be attained by Rajoguda and Tamoguda, only in Sattvaguda. So Prabhupada is quite convinced of it because Bhagavatam is saying, and even though he was seeing so much, he was not impressed by the glamour that is seen there. He could see the pain behind that glamour. He could see the suffering, the anxieties, the distress, and what are people going through behind the cover. And generally, if I see a big, huge car, I know very handsome looking guy, and then a beautiful woman, and they have very beautiful small kid in their hands, and a big car, and they are going to a big hotel to enjoy, and they have a big mansion with a few servants. What will the impression? Impression is, yeah, they must be very happy. But Prabhupada said, no, no, they need Krishna consciousness. They are not happy. God preach them. This is actually truth. The happiness see here very clearly. Peace, prosperity, knowledge, religion, everything is possible only in goodness. As soon as there is passion, ignorance, their precarious conditional life becomes intolerable. And this is Prabhupada's realization. And that's the reason he went to America and he saw them. He said they cannot be happy. They need Bhagavatam. They need Bhagavad Gita. And but Lord Vishnu in his original position is always Nirguna, which means transcendental to the material qualities. And this does not indicate, however, that no, he has no quality, he has transcendental qualities like that. And Prabhupada says those who are in mode of goodness can particularly enter into the transcendental understanding. But it is advised in Bhagavad Gita that one has to surpass this. The Vedic principles are based on the three qualities of material modes. One who is transcendental three qualities, then one can be situated in pure and simple spiritual life. Traigunya Vishya Vida Nistraigunya Bhavachana. And now the fire god. There are 49 fire gods, right? So they are telling, my dear Lord, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you because by your favor I am as illuminous as blazing fire, and I accept the offering, mix it with butter, and offer it in sacrifice. The five kinds of offering according to Ajurveda are all your different energies, and you are worshipped by five kinds of Vedic hymns. Sacrifice means your supreme personality of God. So this is what is Agni's understanding, and he is expressing the same thing because he can relate to the Lord like this only. He can relate to the Lord that Lord is giving me the opportunity to enjoy this way. So that's how the things goes. In Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly stated that yajna should be performed for Vishnu. Yajno vai Vishnu. And all life should be yajna. We have discussed many times. If our life is not yajna, then we are bound in this material world. Yajnartha karmano anyatra lokoyam karma. That means every day should be yajna for us. How my life, every day is yajna? Okay, I chanted. I chant for whom? I should be happy, chant and be happy. We have discussed this. Chant and be happy means I am happy because I am getting opportunity to please Krishna. That's why I chant and be happy. I will not get any pleasure. That's not a problem. Pleasure should be experienced by Lord. Because I am getting opportunity to serve Krishna, I am very happy to it. Same thing with Bhagavatam, same thing with any other things. There should be some other person getting benefit of our activity. Then only it is yajna. Otherwise, it is sense gratification. What is the main difference? Sense gratification, yajna? Sense gratification binds us because we do it for ourselves. When it comes to yajna, we do for somebody else pleasure. Then we will be able to free from that reaction. So even the family members, if you think they are mine and start serving, then there is a bondage. But if you think that they are part of Krishna and Krishna is giving me this opportunity to serve them, if they are part of Krishna, Krishna's gift to me, and you take care of your wife and children or husband and all, then you will not get bondage. It's liberation. But if you think they are mine and do, then there is bondage. So it's simple. So it's a yajna, our life is sacrificed for somebody else's pleasure. Then it is we can be free from this mental conditionings. People say karma yoga, karma yoga. So simple, karma yoga. Okay, do it. Do it. Don't first you change the identity. Think that everybody is given to you by Krishna and start serving them. Serving means what? Not our desire, their desire. And of course, it should be properly guided and taken care. We cannot just fulfill every desire what they have. But according to Dharma, if it is fitting in the Dharma, we have to work for their welfare, guide them properly. If you are a husband, you should see that wife is becoming Krishna conscious. Children are at least going in the direction of Krishna consciousness, are favorable to Krishna consciousness. All these things are actually counted. That is a sacrifice. If I am sitting with my son and daughter and reading Bhagavatam with them, it's an yajna. We are doing proper yajna to please the Supreme Lord. And it will work. We'll be free from all the pain. Actually, people say, oh, we are staying at home, we don't get opportunity to serve like devotees full time in temple. No, full time service is available at home also because it is service to Krishna only. You have to set a proper example. You have to properly come home, read properly, hear properly, help your family members understand this properly, set an example, yourself practicing nicely. Everything is full time only. Bhakti is Bhakti can be practiced anywhere full time. There is no material restrictions or bhakti. Restrictions are in our mind, our own limitations. But opportunity is there for everyone. So this is very uh, so our life is yajna then. And if our life is yajna, then we'll go back to God. No bondage only, right? Every active, like we are hearing Bhagavatam now. So I should do for the pleasure of Lord. You are hearing for the pleasure of Lord. So we have done yajna for 1 hour. Same thing. Any activity, okay, my family members, they're all servants of Krishna. I should serve them to please the Supreme Lord. If you do it, you are a yajna, you are full-time devotee. 24 by 7 bhakti. It cannot be, okay, now I am with my family, I am not a devotee. No, no, we can be devotee that time also. If I do it for the pleasure of Lord. If I am office, I cannot be a devotee of Krishna. No, that time also we are devotee. How can I? I will work hard and I will make sure that Lord is pleased that I am making some effort in whatever responsibility I am giving it work. And we have to see that we don't get exploited. We cannot do it everything for the boss. Boss is not Krishna. But we should know how much time within this time I will do so that I'll get money to serve Krishna nice. Anyway, this one word yajna has so many things to understand. And Prabhupada says that Lord Vishnu has 1000 popular transcendental names, out of which one name is yajna. It is clearly said that everything should be done for the satisfaction of yajna or Vishnu. You see, everything should be for him. All other actions a person may take are only cause for the his bondage. Any action bondage. Everyone has to perform yajna according to Vedic hymns. As stated in the Upanishads, fire, the altar, auspicious full moon, the period of 4 months called Chaturmasa, the sacrificial animal, the beverage called Sova are necessary requisites as the specific hymns mentioned in the Vedas and composed of 4 letters. So the 5 things which Agni is mentioning, Prabhupada is giving them. What are they? The fire, the altar, the auspicious moon, period of 4 months, and sacrificial animals, the beverage called Soma, so many things. And this is Prabhupada says, these mantras chanted according to the Shrutis and Smriti literally are only to please Vishnu. For us, Prabhupada is going to tell what we have to do, don't worry. For the deliverance of those who are materially conditioned attached to material enjoyment, performing yajna and following the rules and regulations of 4 divine society and spiritual life are recommended. It is said in Vishnu Purana that by offering sacrifice to Vishnu, one can gradually be liberated. The whole target of life, therefore, is to please Vishnu. That is yajna. A person who is in Krishna consciousness is dedicated his life for the satisfaction of Krishna. You see, very clear. The origin of all Vedas. And by offering worship and prasadam daily, he becomes the best performer of yajna. In Srimad Bhagavatam is clearly said, Kali Yuga, the only performance of yajna is what we should do? Sankirtana yajna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This yajna is offered before the form of Lord Chaitanya and other yajnas are offered before the form of Lord Vishnu. These recommendations are found in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Moreover, this yajna performance confirms that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Vishnu himself. And this is very nicely explained. Prabhupada also saying the same thing. Now the demigod said, my dear Lord, formerly when there was devastation, you concerned all the different energies of metal manifestation. So you conserved all the different energies of metal manifestation. At the time, all the inhabitants of the higher planets represented by such liberated souls as Sanaka were meditating on you by philosophical speculations. You are therefore the original person and rest in the water of devastation on the bed of Sesha snake. Now today you are visible to us and we are all your servant. Please give your protection. The demigods what they need. Ete cham sakala Krishnastu Bhagavan same. Indra Vaklam Loke Bradiyan. They are always afraid of them. And Prabhupada writing the devastation indicates in this verse is the partial devastation. When Brahma is sleeping. Till Janaloka, Maharloka, Tapaloka, these planets will survive. Remaining things all get devastated, and he conserves all the energies within his abdomen, the Lord. So another significant point in this verse is the demigod said, "We are all your servant. Vrityar, give us your protection." The demigods depend on the protection of Vishnu. They are not independent. Bhagavad Gita therefore condemns the worship of demigods because there is no need of it, and clearly states that only those who have lost their uh, sense go asking favor of demigods. Generally, if anyone has material desires to be fulfilled, he can ask Vishnu instead of going to demigods. Those who worship demigods are not very intelligent. So, Alpamedasaha, Krishna tells. They are all servants of Krishna only. And they are given, and Prabhupada says, so those who are servant or devotees of Lord are not very much concerned with fruitive activities. The performance of prescribed yajna or mental speculation. They simply, so they are not interested in fruitive activities, yajna or mental speculations. They are simply want to love and serve the Supreme Lord. And with love and faith, performing everything for the loving service of the Lord. Such devotees direct, uh, so Lord gives the protection to them. And here the Gandharvas is actually yesterday's class I forgot to record. Hopefully you all remember what we discussed. What you do, the stories and all which I told yesterday, you can repeat to somebody, then you will remember it. So that is the way of remember. Dear Lord, all the demigods, including Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Indra, Marichi, and the great sages are all only differentiated part and parcels of your body. You are the supreme almighty great. The whole creation is just like a playing for you. We always accept you as supreme personality according to offer our respectful obeisances. So if you don't know anything to offer, you can offer some neutral prayers like this. So Brahma Samhita, it is said that Krishna is the personality of Godhead, and there are many demigods who take care of the other planetary systems. So Lord Vishnu is the no one is above Lord Vishnu. So every time it has to be reinforced upon our system, and we will get convinced. That's why Prabhupada reads a number of times. Supreme Lord is Vishnu. Ekala Ishvara Krishna Arasabhabhutya. So this is the point of this verse. And then Vidyadharas, they say, dear Lord, this human form of body is meant for attaining the highest perfectional objective, but impelled by your external energy, the living entity misidentifies himself with the body and with the material energy, and therefore influenced by Maya, he wants to become happy by material enjoyment. He is misled and always attracted by temporary illusory happiness, but your transcendental activities are so powerful that if one engages in hearing and chanting of such topics, he will be delivered from illusion. Wow, Prabhupada has a very huge purpose. He says that human form of life is called Arthada because the body can very nicely help the embodied soul to achieve the highest perfection. So this is what is body meant for. But unfortunately, people don't understand why this human life is given. And they very, very wrongly misuse. See, we don't have problem whatever they are doing, but we feel very sad for them that your life is given for something else and you are doing all sorts of nonsense in this world. And it's like very big. And this is what Prahlad Maharaj said that even though temporary, the body can give us the highest perfectional achievement. In the process of elevation from the lowest to the highest grade of living, the human form of life is the greatest good. But Maya is so strong that in spite of achieving this great boon of human form of life, we are influenced by the temporary material happiness and we forget our goal. The purpose is that we are attracted by things which will cease to exist. The beginning of such attraction is the temporary body. So what to do? Chant Hare Krishna. Purpose. By this, we can come out of the situations. Any questions, comments? Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandasvana. Prabhuji, yesterday's class, you were saying that Bimba Pratibimana, Prabhuji.
Yeah, yeah.
So would you, so some more, would you please, some more light into that, Prabhuji? Bimba Pratibimana.
Yeah, I also don't know very deep, but simple things we know that, however, the state of consciousness, accordingly, we can see this material world. If I stop my mind, I can see then the reality because I am always constantly moving in the mind, and I see everything is moving around me. If I stop, then everything stops. So I also means I heard bro, but I have to go more deep. I don't have clear understanding about it. Maybe if I read more detail, I can tell you. But uh, honestly, I also don't know much about it. I heard it, but I forgot. That's the point.
Okay, one more thing, like one more philosophy, one more, somebody says that you are actually not there in the material world. You are, Mahavishnu is dreaming, just you entered in the dream. You are there in the spiritual world only. So you are participating in Mahavishnu's dream. Actually, you are not physically. I don't know. It's, I heard like, is it? Have you heard probably this kind of?
There can be a number of such philosophies, but we don't accept all of them. We just accept whatever acharyas give because see, who is speaking is makes so much difference because so
Okay.
many people can give so many such theories, but whether it is accepted by Vyasadeva, Sukadev Goswami, or Goswamis, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or any of our acharyas, if they are not accepting, we feel that they are more realized than any of other latest philosophers. So we give preference to them, their understanding.
Prabhuji, as per our Vaishnava Acharyas, they also say na Prabhuji, some dream, like we're all, Mahavishnu is dreaming and like we are participating in the dream, something like that. I think third canto it came. Prabhuji. I can get the exact sloka next time.
Yeah, I
Have you
don't
heard of?
remember this.
Acha. So, and probably this material world is a perverted reflection of the spiritual world.
Yeah.
So actually, uh, like, so means reality just it's only illusion in a way. Like quantum physics also saying that everything is only just energy. Actually, substance is not there.
It
So
is
everything
real but
energy.
temporary. It's illusory in the sense it is temporary, and we feel illusion in the sense that we take it for a place of happiness. We take this place of as a permanent place. So that is the illusion which we are affected. As such, material world is not illusion. It is real only. It only transforms. That is the nature of this material world. It always constantly in change. The connection between Supreme Lord and material energy is time factor. The time means time changes everything. So this is how the Lord is connected. So he looks at the glance is called also time kala. So this is how that is there. So material nature is real, but it is constantly changing. So our body is part of material nature. That's why it changes. Anything material we see around it is changing because time affects the matter. Time don't affect spirit. So Lord, when it relate to us, he relates in terms of yoga, love. And when the material nature and we relate to each other, we relate in terms of karma, action, reaction. So this is what is the reality. Uh, Illusion is what? To think matter to be permanent, a source of happiness, that is the illusion. So we are caught up in illusion because we identify with matter, take it for a source of pleasure, think it is a permanent thing. All these things is illusion. But as such matter is not illusion. It's energy of Lord, it's permanent thing.
Prabhuji, theoretically, I mean, in the first canto only, seventh chapter, first canto, Srila Prabhupada is telling under the Nivruti, two are the major obstacles. One is the lauding of tendency, and one more is gratification. I want to become the enjoyer. So, in spite of knowing these two are the major obstacles on the in under the nivritti. Like we many times, like we try we try to be not really like I sometimes this tendency I found, bro, like enjoy tendency or locking out tendency. So yeah, in spite of
What
knowing
happens
we
is we have experienced so much pleasure in Ishwaro Ham Bhogi Siddho Ham Balavan Sukhi. We have experienced so much pleasure in doing that. So now we don't want to miss that. We don't get spiritual pleasure. So then what happens is we again come back to material pleasure. Even we are doing spiritual activity, we don't get so much spiritual pleasure. We say, okay, at least I can get some pleasure in watching a Netflix movie. Chanting it is not any working. I will do chanting also. I will not leave, but I will don't want to leave my material pleasure because sometimes I get so much pleasure in that.
why I'm bringing this is the morning like Balram Chakra also like the holy name is telling commit sinful activity on the strength of the holy names. The simple fact we know that Krishna is the enjoyer, and we the moment we take Krishna's like the basic the root cause is that is only enough, Prabhuji, that I want to become the enjoyer. So that is only causing all sinful whatever.
The
So that
intensity of
tendency is
pleasure we
there.
experience, na, Prabhu, in this material world is so high that
Oh,
we don't want to give it up. Our identification with the pleasure and all is so intense. So that's why it is taking time for us to come out of it.
okay. Okay, Prabhuji.
Mhm.
So, so that's also like we know that we are chanting Hare Krishna mantra, but we know that we should not take the position that I am the enjoyer, but forcefully, like as you said, maybe because very easily it get carried away.
Yeah,
That
that's why the
concept.
greatest pleasure, that's why this is sex pleasure, where you feel I'm the Lord. You get the absolute pleasure there, where you forget the Supreme Lord. So that forgetfulness gives the pleasure of sex life, the supreme independent controller. This is all because forgetfulness of Krishna. So now when I come to Krishna, I lose that pleasure. Then I say, okay, I can keep the altar closed for some time and watch a movie and I can feel that pleasure again. So our desire for pleasure is very strong. Then the desire to serve the Lord.
Okay, Prabhuji. So this means this is also like we are doing like Nama Pradhana, Prabhuji. Then means
No.
job.
Namaprad is not like that. Namapradi is that
Okay.
I do sinful activity and I chant and I nullify the reaction. That's a Namaprad.
Oh, acha, 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 acha,
You
acha.
our doing sinful activities not to nullify them. We should be ready to take punishment. When we do, then it is not Namaprad. Very simple formula. If you don't want to do seventh offense, you have done some sense gratification, and you say, my dear Lord, I did sense gratification. I am ready for the punishment for it. Thank you very much. Then that is not seventh offense. But you do sinful activities and say, then we chant Hare Krishna. I said, oh, I chanted Hare Krishna. Now I will not get reaction from it. That is seventh offense. So it is
Oh,
quite
acha,
simple.
acha, acha.
We should be ready to pay the price, then enjoy, then there is no sin. If you don't want to pay the price and we say I want to enjoy, then it is seventh offense.
I think generally devotees generally don't do like it. Only. Okay, I'm
That's
chanting.
why it is an
Generally, I
offense.
don't do that.
They are doing seventh offense.
Okay, okay. And Prabhuji Bhakti don't talk that the 11th offense, if you're, I mean, if you're attentive like while chanting, so we will get knowledge and we'll get the strength, Prabhuji. Like if you're attentive while chanting, so remaining easily we can, more chances that we can avoid the other 10 offenses. Correct, Prabhuji?
Yeah,
But,
yes. We have to first know about all the offenses clearly, then it is easy to avoid.
acha, we have to know clearly, Prabhuji. Okay, okay.
Now
Yes,
we don't offend according to tattva. Like no, we commit mostly third
disrespect,
and
correct,
seventh only.
Prabhuji.
Other
Correct.
things we don't commit much. And 11th is inattentiveness is always there. Of course, other offenses are also there is a possibility of committing them, but these offenses are more likely that we commit these three offenses.
Mhm. Prabhuji, and one more thing, na, Prabhuji, that somebody like morning today class also it came up that some devotees they commit aparadhas, but they do not realize, because sometimes when I commit offense, immediately I know, oh, I committed offense to that devotee, and immediately I go and beg forgiveness, something I'll do. But sometimes it happens, devotees they do not realize that they're committing aparadhas, and the consequence also may not see immediately now. So that means actually that affect that actually it's not offense Prabhuji, or like it also happens that they commit a severe offense and they may not feel the consequences or any immediately. Does it happen like?
Actually, what happens, na, the greatest is not the reaction. The greatest problem is the attitude that we have. Na, that is the greatest problem. Say if I did something wrong and immediately I get punishment, that's then you are nullified. When it comes to aparadhana, it will not be nullified like that. You have to change the mentality. Say, if I, for example, we say that no, if somebody commits theft and he is given this punishment, then there is no more reaction for that punishment now. Oh, sorry, for that sin. It is gone. But there is a tendency to do it, but you can work. Same thing in bhakti also, the aparadhas also. This tendency is much more dangerous tendency than the regular. And say now a person did some theft, adultery he did, and then performed some atonement, gone. And then he is working little harder to bring in mode of goodness. Then he can nullify the impressions of that to some extent. When it comes to aparadha, it won't happen like that. Your impressions are so deep that attitude, it will carry life after life, and a person will repeat the same offenses. So this is the great danger. It can all be nullified. So the mentality itself is a problem. We have to give up that mentality. Say here, my anarthas are like my conditioning, so I can overcome that conditioning. But this mentality, this is much more deeper. This cannot be overcome so easily. The disrespectful attitude towards Vaishnavas is more dangerous than even. That's why Jagai Madai can be delivered relatively easy compared to Gopal Chapal or Gopal Chakravarti or all these personalities who committed offense towards Haridas Thakur and Srivas Thakur. So for they took more time to be delivered. Jagai Madai, just one moment they are delivered because they did only sin. Offense is the mentality is so dangerous.
And one more thing, Prabhuji, that fault finding, generally a person fault finding, a fault finding person is like in Vaishnavas also is finding faults and committing aparadhas, but is not realizing Prabhuji, means because his nature is fault finding. So this is also very deep rooted. It carries that
Ah,
kind of.
yes, yes, it is very deep rooted. So whatever progress they may be doing so much service, but they'll get the very little benefit from it because of this one tendency. So dangerous this is.
So when I try to address that, they say, "No, I'm very happy. I'm chanting nicely. I'm nice,
No,
nicely.
they
I'm
are getting
doing."
benefit. The progress is they are doing 100 points. They are getting in their practices, and because of their finding faults, their 99 all the points are deleted, so they get 1 point. So they will be happy that oh, I'm making progress. But you are making progress of 1 point only. You lost 99 points in offenses. So if you don't do that fault finding, every day you will make no so much more than what you are making now. You get 100 points, you are just getting 1 point. So they are progressing. Then we cannot say they are not progressing, but the amount of progress to the amount of service they are doing is not proportionate because of this fault finding.
That project. But unfortunately, I mean, like they are thinking, okay, 1 point I'm losing, 99 I'm getting credit. That is their mentality, project. That's why they're not giving up. Like I'm telling you, if you do like this, your bhakti will be, obstructed. You will lose your bhakti. Then no, no, I'm doing nicely. I'm every day coming Mangalarti, full sadhana I'm attending, I'm chanting, nicely reading, I'm doing my seva. Like that, they're telling. So
Yes,
yeah.
actually, that is the reason. After 20 years, 30 years, also, why people remain like that, they don't much change is because of this reason.
Hmm. But actually, it affects bhakti very deep rooted in the heart. They
Yeah,
don't
yeah, yeah,
feel
definitely.
Bhatna Prabhuji.
Yes, yes,
Mm.
yes.
Externally, they may doing every day doing, but in the heart, bhakti may not develop, na Prabhuji. That
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
But real bhakti may not know.
Yes.
Okay, okay, Rohit. Thank you, Rohit. Thank Harish. Thanks.
Hare Krishna. So thank you all very much. We will end here. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण।